says she's fighting to build an opportunity economy where everyone has a chance to compete and succeed, not just the big cities, but also in our rural areas and our small towns like the ones all across the East. You know how else I know Vice President Harris is a fighter that we want back? Because she has had a career built on protecting working families. As Attorney General of the largest state in the country, she stood up to big banks and the foreclosure crisis to protect middle-class families, and she won. As a United States Senator, she stood up to Donald Trump, vote to repeal when he fought to repeal the Affordable Care Act and rip away the coverage from millions of North Carolinians, and she what? She won. As Vice President, she stood up to insurance companies, pharma, and fought to lower the cost of healthcare and prescription drugs, and she what? And as president, we know that Kamala Harris will continue to stand up for us because that's been her life from the courthouse to the White House. Ready to cut taxes for over 100 million working and middle-class Americans by restoring the child tax credit and the earned income tax credit. She knows the pain of skyrocketing housing costs, as we all do, and will take on corporate landlords driving up rents while providing first-time home buyers with up to $25,000 in down payment assistance. Yes. And when it comes to standing up to those who hard-working people, she's leading the charge to ban corporate price gouging on food and groceries. Kamala Harris, because she's one of us. Meanwhile, Donald Trump only has concepts of a plan. And the Extreme Project 2025 agenda. Trump has vowed to implement what is basically a national sales tax on everyday goods. What that means for you, family in North Carolina, is nearly $4,000 a year increase in cost. While he raises costs for you, he'll be cutting taxes for the billionaires and the big corporations while at the same time trying to cut Social Security and Medicare. Can you believe that? He's done that every single year he was in office. We're not going to have that again. And here's one more thing that you can be sure of. Kamala Harris trusts women and believes that extremists like Donald Trump extremists like Donald Trump and Mark Robinson should never come between you and your daughter.
Mark Robinson thinks African Americans should be the ones paying reparations.
Meanwhile, Donald Trump brags about overturning Roe v. Wade, which only put women in danger and drove healthcare providers out of our state. We all know that North Carolina is in this year's election. But this is so important. I want you to listen carefully. It starts in just 4 days. Right here in North Carolina, 4 days. So here's what I need you to do. I need you to make sure that you are registered to vote. You go to early voting. And if you're not registered, register right there when you are early voting. need you to get your ballot. I need you to fill out every race on the front of that ballot. And when you're done, hold on. Don't take my line. When you're done, it's important that you turn that ballot over. Because I like to say, flip it, don't skip it. I want you to flip it because my name is on the back. So Greenville, Pitt County, and everybody here in the East, this election, we're going to turn the page, and together we're going to win North Carolina for Vice President Harris. We're going to win. God bless you.
Yeah, to cover this, to watch this, anybody that wants to pop up a little bit and chat, we can do that while this is going on. I just wanted to hear Kamala Harris's speech because this is in North Carolina. This is the state where Mark Robinson is running for governor. He's the Black MAGA guy who says that African Americans should be the ones who pay reparations. They shouldn't be seeking reparations. So, it's important to know who that is. He also said he want, things to go back to when women couldn't vote. Don't quote me, it's not verbatim, but yes, he said something like that and many other things. He's watching tranny porn and then saying he don't like trannies. I don't know. He's confused, but here we go.
And I'm running to be your next lieutenant governor.
Better than Mark Robinson.
I'm an attorney and a mother, and I'm running to help make North Carolina a better place to live, work, and raise a family. And I am so proud to be here today to support Vice President Harris, who is fighting to do the same thing for our country. As a prosecutor general, senator, president, Kamala Harris has only ever had one client, the people. And as our fellow North Carolinians, our friends, our family out in Western North Carolina recover from the devastating impacts of Hurricane Helene, it is important now more than ever to have unwavering leadership. As the Vice President said in her visit to Asheville, we are here for the long haul.
Commercial up in the middle of this thing? Let's see here. 2 seconds. Sorry about that.
Vice President Harris' 2025 agenda would raise taxes on the middle class by almost $4,000 and cut critical benefits like Social Security. Donald Trump has made it clear he will prioritize big corporations and billionaires over working parents in North Carolina. And
the Biden administration did take steps to provide significant relief for Black and minority farmers through the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021. This act included a provision for $4 billion in debt relief for socially disadvantaged farmers and ranchers, which encompasses Black, Hispanic, Native American, Asian American farmers, to address long-standing disparities in the agricultural sector, where minority farmers have historically faced discrimination in accessing and other financial assistance, USDA. Background on the relief measure. The $4 billion was intended to cover up to 120%
Look at what's going on here.
Are ready to fight to elect leadership that fights for us. So we're going to get out there starting this Thursday during early voting and make our voices heard. Because when we fight, we win. Thank you.
Let's see. This is just the warm up. This is bound to be a really good speech by Kamala Harris. Now, for people that just think it's, you're too into politics, or, you supporting that Kamala Harris, stop putting a name on it. I vote for policy. See, so many people out here, they think just knowing someone's name is enough. No, I know the policies. I'm following the policies. That's why I'm speaking on the policies. It doesn't matter what the name is. Follow the policy. Talk about the policy and be honest about the policies. All right, let's see here.
Well, hello, Eastern North Carolina. I'm Congressman Don Davis, proud to represent North Carolina's 1st Congressional District. So often, for those of us who live east of I-95, we can feel left out. We often feel forgotten. But Eastern North Carolina, please join me, Eastern North Carolina, in giving a warm welcome to our Vice President Kamala Harris. Come on. We have the Vice President in the 252. Our Vice President is in the East on a purpose, with a mission. She's here to share her vision for a new way forward, where every has the opportunity to live the American dream. Even those of us in Eastern North Carolina, the opportunity not just to get by, but to get ahead. For anyone that doesn't know, I was born and raised in Eastern North Carolina. My roots grow deep here. This home, raised by my grandmother, working in the fields. And I wanted so badly to serve our country. So I went on eventually and made my way to the United States Air Force Academy. And I served in the United States Air Force. Let's give a hand to all of our veterans here today. Eastern North Carolina Carolina, no matter where I've been, Eastern North Carolina was always home, and that's where my heart was. So I couldn't wait to get back home. And what brought me back home was serving as an instructor, teaching national security affairs courses right here at East Carolina University. Go Pirates! And since then, I've had the honor of a lifetime to run for mayor and serve as mayor of my hometown, Snow Hill, North Carolina. To serve in the state senate for 12 years. And now as your member of Congress. To be clear, as a son of Eastern North Carolina, I throw my full support behind Kamala Harris for President of the United States. Let me tell you why. I see the same spirit of service in her. I see the same fight in her. She served as a district attorney, attorney general, in the U.S. Senate, now as the Vice President of the United States. And soon to be President of the United States. We got to get rid of that vice thing. But Eastern North Carolina, the stakes are high. This election is the most consequential in our lifetimes. Let me tell you, while the stakes are high, choice can't clear. Vice President Harris, Senator Waltz are fighting for families right here in Eastern North Carolina. They're fighting to lower, protect our freedoms, and they will serve all Americans in Eastern North Carolina and beyond, regardless of party. But on the other hand, there are some pretty extreme who are running in support of an extreme agenda, a manifesto, a playbook called Project 2025. Eastern North Carolina, the eyes of the nation are on us. We must stop Project 2025. Eastern North Carolina, are you going to let them make harmful changes to Social Security and Medicare? Are we going to allow them to privatize VA health? Are we going to allow them to privatize the Wall? Things the National Weather Services. Are we going to allow them to place limits on reproductive care? Are we going to allow them to abolish the Department of Education? Are we going to allow them to get rid of Head Start? Are we going to allow them to increase rates? Are we going to allow them to repeal the cap on insulin at $35? Are we going to let them undo the affordable? I can tell you what I wanted to say, but I'm not going to say it today. It's Sunday. Y'all say it. The path to stop Project 25 and to the White House comes through Eastern North Carolina. Extremists are fighting to raise your taxes, to be clear, to ban abortion, to be clear, and to take away our health care. Extremists are even trying to now politicize the hurricane. We're not going to let them do this to our friends out west. And as your member of Congress, I look forward to working with President Harris to address costs. And we're going to address costs. As your member of Congress, I look forward to working with President Harris to strengthen Eastern North Carolina's economy. As your member of Congress, I look forward to working with Harris to codify Roe versus Wade. As your member of Congress, I look forward to working with President Harris to help our farmers, to help our veterans. And yes, I do believe, working with President Harris, that we can do comprehensive immigration reform, securing the border in a humane way. This election boils down to two different visions for our future. Vice President Harris has stood for working families. She's fought to lower costs and to grow the middle class. She's also fought to bring funds Love you too, Eastern North Carolina. President Harris will bring important funds for our HBCUs, like Elizabeth City State University, Viking Pride.
What's up, break room?
To the Eagles. But I know the future. I know the future that I'm choosing. And that future is Vice President Harris and Governor Walz. Friends, freedom.
Yo, break room. As a matter of
Serving our
fact,
country, freedom.
isn't he down in you in North Carolina, right? North Carolina? I think so. Yeah, that's right. You down there with Mark Robinson. Mr. It's you that should be paying reparations. It's you. Somebody took them strikes for you. You should be paying reparations. Somebody died for you. Did you know? Did you know somebody died for you?
In Eastern North Carolina,
If
rural
Mark
America
Robinson
beyond,
knew all that shit, then why ain't he voting for Kamala Harris? You know?
to look and see themselves through the eyes of someone that looks like them in the most powerful office.
Somebody who has transgender as well too. I mean, a lot of women.
So Eastern North Carolina, when we fight, now hear this one. When we vote, we win. God bless you, Eastern North Carolina.
Because in these votes,
USA.
it's very, very important, because if you want to change the courts that are stopping all the discrimination packages, the packages that are supposed to compensate and help aid people for discrimination, years, decades, century discrimination, maybe even, if you want those bills to actually not be stopped in the courts, you need to vote so someone can appoint judges that pass them. You see? And this time around, it's even more important in this election, because there's some judges coming up. You see what I mean? Don't let it happen again. Don't let the next one. Biden appointed some judges, but we need to do something about the Supreme Court too. And that is going to take your vote. So these bills are held up in the Supreme Court. A lot of bills that affect Black people for discrimination. So pay attention.
Many of you across the state to come here today to welcome Vice President Kamala Harris to Greenville. And that includes many of our amazing volunteers. Your hard work, that's right. Your hard work and passion are the backbone of this campaign, and we are so excited to have you on board, and we are. But each and every one of you, you have the power to make a difference. We can't do it without your help. We need to knock on doors, make phone calls, mobilize our friends, neighbor members, online and offline, and that means we need people like you to get involved, every person. But if Donald Trump and Mark Robinson, are elected, their project 2025 agenda will be dead North Carolinians, with the plan to raise costs on working families by nearly $4,000. And something personal to me as an educator, but the Department of Education, slash FEMA funding and rip away our fundamental freedoms. That's right. Donald Trump and Mark Robinson are experts in hate and division. They have shown us time and time again who they are. Candidates who always put first. Our community, that's right.
Somebody died for you.
Our communities and families, we cannot another Trump presidency. If we take all this energy in this room today and we put it towards flipping North Carolina blue in November, we can deliver President Harris and Governor Walz the White House in November. So, do me a favor. Talk to your friends, your neighbors. Make sure the folks in your community where you are, they know where, how, and when to mail your ballot back today or return it to in person to your early voting site in your local county. So don't forget, early voting is this Thursday. It begins this Thursday, right?
Voted.
The path to the White House runs right here through North Carolina. We just have to fight for it, right? Because when we fight, let's do this, y'all.
You know what? I did an earlier stream. I'm still figuring out the audio, and now I just figured out the last part. So I'm gonna do a part 2 or another run of those same facts that I put out earlier about the rescue plan for Black farmers and minority farmers that's been held up in the courts but passed by Biden. The rollout, right? The significance of the rollout, infrastructure rollout to African Americans, and then also the significance of the student debt relief that African Americans should be extremely focused on too. All three of those things. I'm gonna do it over because I figured out the issue now, and the right way to do it. I'm on a new system. I'm using Restream now. I like Restream. It's a little lagging, but that's not so bothersome once I figure it out. So, all right. So let me turn this back up.
Ooh, we don't even need to redo that one. That was perfect. Come on now.
Okay, so
Let's
they got some
go.
music playing right now. I'm gonna put this on mute.
Give it up for all of our presenters.
Yeah, and we waiting for Kamala Harris to come out. Yeah, Mark Robinson, he said some really hateful things, self-hateful. I don't know where they produce people that with that much self-hate. I would call it menticide for people that want to look up the full version of what menticide is. That's when, psychologically you totally go against your own um, ethnicity, your own history, your own. It's a psychological condition, and it's when you attack your own self, essentially internal hate, and like total disconnection from anything that is a part of who you really are as a person, that makes you as a person. And it's called menticide, but people can look it up. And Mark Robinson his face should be under the definition of menticide, because I haven't heard a person go that deep on the self-hate in a long time. And he is proud of MAGA. He's a Trump supporter. Um, Another one. So for all you people out there that low-key try to support Trump, or even actively out there support Trump, know that this is an image of you. You can't detach yourself from him. People that have these kind of either confusion about what's going on, lack of understanding of the laws, and are actively going against laws that are in their best interest, or people that take it a next step and just say things like Mark Robinson will say when he says it's African Americans that should be paying reparations. They shouldn't be seeking it. Don't It's not verbatim. What he says is even worse. He said similar things about women, wanting to go back when women couldn't vote. These are such deep, hateful things. You should be in fear of anybody. Disconnect from anybody that does not call that out and does not disassociate from that behavior politically. Because if you don't, that means that in some kind of way, they agree with that. And I would think if you're a woman, you would want to run far away from anybody with that type of thinking. I mean, it is scary. And his lady, because his lady sat right next to him, supporting her man. But how you going to support a man that doesn't give a damn about your rights, your civil rights, let alone the history of civil rights in the U.S., what it's done to people, Native Americans? Well, we know that was just utter genocide. What's left of them is on camps. And as much as people want to talk about how well they have it, don't listen to people who say that. In the U.S., Natives do not have it well. They might have a few casinos, but that's just a few people raking up some dollars in corruption. The overall people do not have it good. And, is something that needs to be looked on across the Americas. We got three major ethnic groups: European descent, African descent, and Native descent throughout the North, Central, and South America. So, when they hear Mark Robinson say these kind of things, it's just sad. It's sad. But yeah, he dislikes himself. No, he hates himself. He may as well he's just a disgrace to his lineage, his ancestors. And I hate to say that, those are strong words, but yes, I'm sure his ancestors are rolling over in their grave, flat out, rolling over in their grave. I played Mark Robinson a few times, but I haven't really uploaded it because I've done it once. People need to listen to him on his own. I'm sure you know about him, but others need to know about him. That should be Tariq Nasheed's. Tariq Nasheed should be loving him, because Tariq Nasheed is supporting the same person that supports Mark Robinson. So they can't disassociate from each other. I know Tariq Nasheed probably is getting very exposed right now because he has been a part of a political agenda which is anti-reparations, and it is also anti-black, but it's, very subtle. So a lot of people didn't pick up on that. The intelligent people know fascism and how it works, but and disassociated from Tariq Nasheed a long time ago. But a lot of us aren't that engaged enough to know the difference. And for them, a lot of the humor and the tropes that Tariq Nasheed uses, racial tropes, are attractive until they find out that no, it's a trick to get you to participate in the same behavior that they're going to use later to commit genocide against you. So this shit is deep. Yeah, dark Mark. Dark, he got a very dark soul. But he also, Mark, you modern day slave. He is. And the guy, again, I can't say this enough. For a man who hates transsexuals, he seems to like transsexual sex. I mean, he's watching it. He watched porn. He loved it. He even commented, I like this shit. Man, wow, you could do it both ways. Amazing. I mean, this guy is really dark. I mean, yeah, what can you do? What can you do? That I mean, to 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 enjoy sexual behavior that you hate, it's a lot of confusion out there. There's a lot of confusion there. So Mark Robinson, go seek psychiatric help, like seriously, and because you need a whole lot of help, brother. You are really not looking good, and it's a bad look for North Carolina. Not that North Carolina hasn't had other looks, but somebody propped him up anyway. They went and found a dumb one to prop up, essentially a coon, to say it politely, and that's politics. They get them all the time, and it's not just politics. It's diabolical politics. It's fascism. They always find a few. Hitler did it. He had a few um, people that he could find that were willing to sell out the bigger group. That's all they need, and that's how it works. And oh shit, who's coming out? Let's see here. Who is this? Don't tell me this is Kamala coming out. Okay, I got to keep the music down though because I don't want to get too many copyright strikes. This is not. Oh, okay. They're just showing you how many people are in there. Yeah, take a look. This is not a Trump event. People showed up and filled out the stadium. And kudos to the Midas Touch because they've been all their network, because they got a whole network that have so many people, young people, lawyers. They got journalists, young journalists. They got lawyers. And then they have people that work in different campaigns. And they even have insiders in the Trump campaign following him. And they snitch. They snitch on him. And in fact, those were the ones that have been saying, they've been saying it for a while. Everybody knows that Donald Trump cannot hold his gases, as in his, from his backside. And he has a problem holding his doo-doo inside of himself, even. Like, it's bad. You see what I mean? And people have been talking about this for a while, but recently they released some more clips of it, of him meeting with leaders where he's literally just farting and, I'm talking about like coming out. Like, I don't even know how to make the sounds when something comes out that's not just gas. They have this, the man is doing this. And you can see it because sometimes he does it when he's talking and he confuses himself. He's like, oh, you can see him mix up his words, or, because he's trying to focus on what he's saying. And he knows damn well that shit just disturbed him. And they want to vote dude into office. And, the genius of fascists is they always go out and gaslight. So what they knew, everyone knew the inside thing was about Donald Trump can't hold it, right? He can't hold it. He's wearing a diaper. And what they did to distract people from that is point at Biden. That's what they did, and try to make it seem like it's Biden that can't hold it. Biden's going to fall down. Biden's going to do this. Biden, but in reality, they were doing that to divert people away from the fact that Trump have he's got some physical issues. He's got body problems, and it's not like something that he has gastrointestinal problems. So it doesn't, it's not like you get a doctor for him. It's not like a doctor could help him. No, this is bad. It's ongoing. It's nothing that can be done to stop it. This is what you got to deal with when you meet with Donald Trump. You're going to have to deal with his gases. It's his health, whatever medication they have him on, whatever stuff they pumping him up with. And some people have speculated that no, it's actually worse than that. It's because of they say he doesn't drink. If you notice, they always ask Donald Trump, "Do you drink?" And he says no, because my brother was an alcoholic, or my father, or something like that. He says that, and so therefore he doesn't drink at all. But how often have you heard them ask him about his drug activity, other drugs? And it's speculated, there's other people that speculated that Donald Trump has been doing other illegal drugs for a very long time, that cause intestinal gas is problems, So, where's the proof? We don't know, but there's people that say these things that know him, that know of him, his party days, for example. What you think they've been doing down there at those parties with Epstein, Mar-a-Lago. I mean, you got to admit, when Trump was younger, he liked them young. He said it himself. He was a party guy. What type of party guy doesn't drink? Just think about that. You see what I mean? So, I mean, I'm not saying that just because he parties, it means he's on drugs if he doesn't drink. But I'm just saying, what's the likeliness that he's partying? You see what I'm saying? Versus not partying. And so, it's obvious it's destroyed his brain. Whatever it is he's on, his brain is finished. His brain is finished. And that's what drug abuse can do. It can do that depending on the ones you're on, but it's not, kills it can destroy you, your body. And so in any case, but we came for Kamala Harris's speech. How many of y'all, I guess in the US, you all don't go to parties on election night, but I'm going to be attending a party, and I'm going to stream on election night, right? I don't know where it is. It depends on where it is. The last one I went to was when Obama was first elected. It was at Politiken, a newspaper here in Copenhagen, a big newspaper, a national newspaper. They had a big event, and anybody could go. It was just election night. Republicans, Democrats, and others that register, and it was a pretty big event. And so it was wild going to that. It was great. A lot of people. I took one of my buddies from Kenya with me, right, down there, so he could see it, because obviously Obama has some Kenyan roots also in his family, right? And it was an event, but I anticipate this is going to be huge. And I already feel Kamala Harris has already won. She's definitely outworking Trump. She definitely is in the good enough mental and physical health to outwork Donald Trump with anything, So that leads me to believe that she's definitely going to be able to win this, because she's a hard worker and willing to do the work. But you never know until people are elected. But I think what's going to happen, and I think Republicans know this, especially Trump. I think their main thing right now is trying to subvert the vote. Essentially, that's Trump's only chance. Outside of that, Kamala Harris is easily going to win. And I think, so it's likely some of the vote counting is going to be held up in some courts, and it's likely Donald Trump is going to declare that he won no matter what is going on. But this time around, the federal government has said that they are keeping an eye and that they already know there's going to be election interference. And they have warned people that they will be prosecuting, and they are paying a close attention to this election. So I think it's proper. Now, whether the Supreme Court, it can get something, somehow it could at very worst end up in the Supreme Court. And, Trump has an advantage with these 6 judges. But I think these 6 judges right now are basically not feeling too good. But people should be weary because some of them have been getting money under the table, and they haven't been held accountable yet. So there is a likeliness that this could end up in the Supreme Court and they could decide this election. But if enough people come out to vote, it's unlikely they would intercede. You see what I mean? So this time around, it really does matter the vote turnout. People need to vote. And even if you think they will try to stop your vote or something, still vote. No matter what, show up, show out. And because this is a serious election, there's a lot of implications. For African Americans, if you ever thought anything, and others, if you ever thought anything about your rights, having rights in the country, equal rights, if you ever thought anything about the struggle for equal rights, if you ever thought it before, if you thought it 5 years ago, if you thought it 10 years ago, if your parents thought about it, if your grandparents thought about it, you need to vote. You need to vote because all of that is definitely on the line, and it's not a joke. It's not something people are just saying to get you to vote for Kamala Harris. No, it is literally on the line because of the Supreme Court and how they've been behaving. So, your vote could be subverted. Your rights can be subverted right now. But again, show up and hopefully that doesn't happen, and that's why I'm speaking because, I don't want that to happen. I mean, I feel foolish in some sense because I live outside of the U.S. as an American citizen, and I witness how other people deal with things. And in this country, of course, they vote over things like immigration. There's a big discussion about immigration, and it's one of the tightest countries. But they would never allow the issue of immigration to subvert their right to education, their right to health care, their right to housing, and these essential things. They would never do that. But in the U.S., you see people are willing to use the immigration issue to scapegoat and circumvent other civil rights that are equally as important: health care, housing, fair housing, and what else did I say? Education. Yes, they are. And that's exactly what's happening. There are part of the wealthy class that really think they have rights that you shouldn't have. And they really do want to suck your blood. Like we were talking about the infrastructure rollout plan. Well, why would a state refuse to roll out the infrastructure rollout? Because they don't want the property of your homes to go up. Why wouldn't they want the property of your homes to go up? Because they're in bed with some real estate developers. Basically, that's the only thing I could think of. Right? The real estate developers, they will always demand it later, but they don't want regular average folks getting it too quick because they see that as their stomping ground, the place where they should have the say, And how has that turned out for people? Has the price of housing been fair? Since the real estate tycoons are everywhere, they're everywhere. They're everywhere now, in many states, So how did they do that? Push middle class people out, make things unaffordable for the middle class. Um, Student debt, if that issue gets resolved, African Americans will get $25,000 of money each one to use towards something else, like a home. You think they want that? The real estate developers? Probably not. You see, the rollout plan infrastructure rollout has something to do with the value of your home. Yes, because when they fix the roads, when they fix the transport, they fix uh, things like this, it raises the value of even the middle class people's homes. You see, now, who would be against the infrastructure rollout plan? Obviously, it's becoming more obvious when you think about it. You see, healthcare. Why do Americans pay twice as much for the same healthcare that other people get around the world or in other NATO nations? And why is that? It's because it's privatized. It's not because you're getting better healthcare. You're not getting better medicine. It's just a corporation that's charging you way too much. They could still make loads of money without charging you that much. But who's stopping them? Why not become a super, super duper billionaire if you can, if nobody's stopping you, right? So these are the things people need to pay attention to. And this is why I'm voting for Kamala Harris. This is why I did vote for her and Tim Walz. I didn't know much about Tim Walz when he first got elected, but I mean, no, when he first was signed on to run with Kamala Harris. But when I listened to him, and the more I started researching about him, then I started understanding why that is, because he really is down for the working class, and he can articulate what the problems are regarding the working class, and he can articulate how certain wealthy groups and certain ideologies in that class are out to keep others down. That's simple. That's simple. He can articulate it, and he has been doing that. And it's important that you have different segments of society, people that represent different segments of society articulate that message, because that's what's going on. The United States is the richest country, most powerful country that's ever existed on earth. And yet we have serious problems with homelessness, serious problems with education, serious problems with healthcare, housing, problems that other nations have figured out how to deal with, that are Western democracies, that are in NATO. Simple and plain. It's long overdue in the U.S. Change, positive change for the middle class, access to education, fair access to education without going into debt when other nations are paying people to go to school. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are the things you got to think about. Now, that paid education may not be on the menu yet, but at least you shouldn't go into debt over it. You shouldn't be 20 years in debt. If you look at the data regarding African Americans in debt, student debt alone, it should be shocking. You should be pissed off, because that amount of money you're paying in interest, that could be used on a house. That's $25,000 on average. You're paying more for education through debt than others. How can that be okay with you? How could that be okay with you? Do you want to pay that much more for your car than other people? Do you want to pay that much more for the bus? Do you want to pay that much more for your health care? I mean, this is, you be the judge. Hey, things worth knowing. How you doing? I see you. Yeah, I just wanted to see this speech. Hopefully she comes out soon and gives the speech. That's what I'm on here for. But yeah, I hope you're doing well today also. Yeah. Did you see the information that I put out yesterday? Wait a second. As a matter of fact, I uploaded one now, because it's taking me a second to figure out how to use Restream, but now I know how to do it. So I'm going to present some other information before I log off today, and the audio should be primed then. For those that couldn't really make out the audio earlier today, you should be able to make it out now. Although I'm not going to give the same commentary because I already gave it in the video in the live I did earlier. So, but you can revert back to that too. Yeah, people are really having a celebration here. Let me open this back up so y'all can see. Is somebody singing? Okay, this must be. I know gospel music is big in North Carolina, which is cool. I mean, I grew up listening to some gospel music. I know some gospel songs, and you know, it is inspiring. I'm not too into religion, but I'm okay with gospel music myself. I keep my religion to myself and my beliefs, spiritual beliefs, to myself. I don't really share them with people, but they're not far from many. I'm just not. I don't have the same. How can I say this? I'm more into history, and so therefore, I'm more into the basis of these religions, not necessarily the the terms and the things like that they use. And that's just modern. That could be any religion. But I definitely believe in keeping it to myself and just practicing myself spiritually. Because I feel more like it allows me to connect with others rather than be separate from others, in that way. I'd rather focus on the things we got in common. So let's see here. Okay. I thought I saw somebody coming out. Well, it's going to be a spiritual moment. I tell you what, Mr. Somebody died for you. He really woke North Carolinians up, because when they heard that, they was like, whoa, 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 whoa. I would be woke like hell in North Carolina right about now. And I see people are, and I'm just so happy for that, I'm just happy for that. I don't know. I try to tell people all the time that, where I live, in the country I live in, outside of the US, as an American citizen, I have universal health care. My kids will get paid. They're just about to start getting paid to go to school. Not going into debt over school, but getting paid to go to school. My job is a union job. Most of the industry jobs are union jobs here. And even if they're not, unions are so strong, they set a lot of the rules and regulations for industry anyway, where I am. So, I get 5 weeks vacation every year, paid. If I have a child, I get a year paid leave. I can split it with the lady. You know what I'm saying? Or she can split it. We can split. We get a year as a family. If you have a family, you split it into 6 months. The mother gets 6, the father gets 6, or the father could give his 6 to the mom. The mom could stay home the whole year, paid leave. Or the father could stay home all year, paid leave. Each child. Housing, insurance, things that allow you to focus on your to spend more time focusing on your progression and how you want to grow as a person, how you want to grow professionally. It gives you time to think through things instead of always being impressed, and it just being about the money. I mean, if you have that feeling of being pressed, and it's always it being about the money, or you're going to lose something, that's classism, basically. So let me see what things worth knowing and saying here. My girlfriend said that in North Carolina, women are against Robinson and they are going all out for his opponent. Hey, I'm not surprised. They should be. I mean, damn, if anything, and black women should be like, looking to cut his balls off to make sure he doesn't reproduce anymore. I hate to say that because this man is out to get them personally. Everything they stand for, everything they stand for. Everything they stand for, and men should too. I mean, just the fact that he said that about reparations, I got to tell you, I might kick him in the balls if I ever see him myself. That is the love. That is, I've never even heard a white person say that. You know what I mean? Like that. So, and even the ones that think it would never say it, but there's a lot of white people that agree with reparations. And, for them, they're just like, they can't even believe they ever saw a black man say something like that. They're shocked too. Like, damn, has it been that bad? It's like menticide is that deep? Like, whoa, like this man totally disassociated with himself. Totally. I mean, he's a nutbag, and he's running for governor. And if it takes so long to get Kamala Harris on stage, not that I won't wait, but I might have to play some Mark Robinson just to threaten the people to get her to come out. If you know what I'm saying, like always keep in mind, Mark Robinson can hop out anytime as long as he's got a chance. He got to be put to rest. He's got to be put to rest. Oh my God. What time is it? It's 9:30 over here. Let me see something. Two seconds. Gotta check my phone here. Oh, the audio's done. Let me turn it up just a little bit. Make sure I see what they're talking about. Oh, they just having a little hip hop party up in here. So I may as well get it going too. Let's see here. Do I have anything here? Here we go. Let's see what we can do.
The original.
Can you hear it?
Yes. Existed in unique state of comprehension, tranquility, pure lineage, and propriety. I come to put all the false rumors to rest. In doing so, I snatch your heart from your chest and drink the blood and awake the undeniable flood. The house is built on sand, they sink the mud. The original Olmecs with original text, the representing of the unknown factor. The X, who brings the butters, the cold of the stone cutters from the original land, but south of the Sudan. Listen, it's just one chief and too many thieves. That's why they hang beef. On Christmas they hang a wreath. And for this we smoke leaf. The antidote to grief. The false gods that prove their time's brief. Without breath, the void is consumed. The whole world will feel the doom. The traveling man, what? The traveling man, what? The man, what? The traveling man. The traveling man, what? The traveling man, what? The man, what?
Yo, I can't believe I made this song like 30 years ago. 30 years ago, I found it on one of my jobs. I got like loads of songs from when I was younger,
Morphological answer is the black ye. They was cutting into stones before my Hitting you with this eclectic organic style, activating your goosebumps and making you smile. It feels good the way the bass and keys flow together. At the same time, it's raining in sunny weather. The beat's popping, the guitar is sweet. Quite unique the way we raise the levels, but they don't peak, bringing you to another musical orgasm. Moving your fat butt starts to spasm. Don't panic, we take the game to another planet. The earth's getting hot and we still grooving, damn it. The way we think it makes the frequency soothing. At a calm and steady pace we keep moving, cause the movement and information is quite progressive. Dropping the rap in a way you can study the method. We glad cause the mission is to be thought-provoking. Examining how you do your thing, the slogan. You can do what you want to do. It's your life, baby, yes, it's your groove. You know what you know, so show and prove. The way we do it, I think the game approves. Since you can do what you want.
Dag, my mic got muted. Yeah. I said, I don't know what's up with it lags a little bit. But yeah. It is what it is. 2 seconds, let me see. Okay. Yeah, I just want to avoid the if I can, the copyright stuff. So but you know what? While I'm at it, let me load something else. Let me this else I want y'all to hear too. I can play. Okay, update. Now. Okay, here we go. Right. You know what? I think I'm gonna play one of my homeboys' songs. Now check this out. This one, he put it out last year, but he's going to release it this year. It's a different. It's going to have some other stuff. It's my homeboy Giant. You tell me, Break Room, if you like this song. Yeah. Let me see here. It's uploading. It's going to be done in a second. Then I'm going to play it. Here we go. Tell me what you think of this, Break Room. He threw this out. Like, you can get this on Spotify or any of the streaming platforms right now. But let me just play this real quick. Come on. Here we go. Turn it up.
I believe that we even came together today to share this holy matrimony for us to stay. Now I will say I do, you will say it. Together we will be all that we were meant to be. Girl, you make me smile, you make me sing. Girl, I'm gonna love you 24 Kinda reminds me of your sin as we lie in bed. And you wake up in the morning, the sun is shining on your head, yeah. Girl, I'm something like the Mary Janes. Girl, you are my Mary Jane. Girl, you make me feel alright. Girl, you make my heart sing. I'm so proud to have you in my life. But that might not be enough. You about to have my child. Hey, and I pray that she has brighter days. Cause you make me feel this way. And no one can take you from me. Cause we're free.
Yeah, so this is going to be re-released on Christmas, actually, during the holiday season. For those of you that celebrate Christmas, yeah, I know for many it's something people don't always celebrate, but it's fun. Listen to this lady right here. Check this out. Woo! Oh my goodness. Yeah. Okay, I'll cut it up. Yeah, y'all can get that on streaming platforms. That's Giant, that's his song for the holiday season. Yeah, and I don't know how many of y'all it's music out there, but if you listen, the arrangements are dope. The arrangements are dope. And it's actually co-produced by a cat named Adam. He is pretty well known when it comes to composing music in the US. He's recorded a lot of platinum tracks, music with many different artists, So you just research it. I think the name after YouTube gets the algorithm of the song is gonna show you the link to it, so you can get it on different streaming platforms and stuff like that. But let me see here. While we waiting, let me see what else I can pull up here. Right. Yeah, let me pull this one up. Here we go. I don't know, upload to restream, but yeah. But yeah, folks, we waiting for Kamala Harris. I'm just waiting for Kamala Harris. Oh, did I get a message? Let me see. Did she come up yet? Oh, okay, no. Let's see here. Well, okay. Let's see. That didn't really happen. So, all right. Okay, here we go. All right, so let's go back. Here we go. She's about to come out, y'all. Now, let me see here. I'm going to rock this joint until she comes out. Let me know what you think of this one, too. It's also by Giant. You can get this on different streaming platforms.
Sound of rain beating soft this morning. Wake to smile at a new day dawning and say, I'm gonna cross that river today. When I get so lost, all I know, I need a love to help me find my way. Give me strength to say I will climb the mountain. I gladly walk from sea to sea.
From sea to sea.
I'm not afraid to cross the river as long as you're with me.
Yeah, that guitar is sweet.
The road is long, what it holds, I don't know. But sure as rain, I know which way to go today. In you, I found my way. I never thought that the dream would find me, but in your eyes I see all that I can be. Come take my hand, I will climb the mountain. I gladly walk from sea to sea.
It's still not straight.
I'm not afraid to cross the river as long as you're with me. My dreams came true when you came into my life, and all I do is think of you. I can never be lonely. My dreams came true as we sail the open seas, and now I've been across the river
Oh, let me see what the chat saying.
with me.
Yeah, it's 3:30 p.m. Yeah, it's 3:30 p.m. in the US. What's up, Donnie? You back? You at work, Donnie? Yeah, we just waiting for Kamala Harris. Is she coming? Where's she at? Okay,
Sound of rain beating soft this
still waiting.
morning. Wait to
She coming.
smile at a new ding dawning and say, I'm gonna
There you go. They adjusting it one more time.
today.
More. A little more.
When I get so lost, all I know, I need a love to help
There you go.
find the way. Give me strength to say that I will climb the mountain. I gladly walk from sea
climb
to
the
sea.
mountain.
I'm not afraid
Proud.
to cross the river as long as you're with me. My dreams came true when you came into my life, and all I do is think of you. I could never be lonely.
Come on, Kamala.
Dreams came true
Come on out.
as we sail the
Don't want to hear this speech. We fired up in North Carolina, and North Carolina is fired up, as you can see. Come on.
Yeah. I got a lot of songs. Yeah. I got a lot of songs.
Oh, she must be coming out now, maybe. Okay, hold on. What is that? Let me see something here. Oh, okay. I didn't upload them all. Let me see. Let me try this one. I'm thinking Kamala Harris is going to come out now. Let's see. Hold on. Let me listen and see if they started her music. Okay, not yet. Yeah, she's coming out. Let me see something here. Boom. Oh, Andre, you there? Or Andrea? I'm sorry. What's wrong with me? I have to. It's Kamala and Andrea. How did I forget that? Yeah, they making people are waiting. I wonder what the. I mean, I don't want to. I know Trump and them are probably going to make all types of noise about this. Yeah, they had people waiting for an hour. Yeah, you know, for a second, that's nice. If those people came there, those lovely people, and she just made them wait like that. Yeah, man, she had a last minute change in her speech. You know, the shade room going to be deep. On Kamala Harris until she's it's not gonna stop. The shade room is gonna be on Kamala Harris her entire presidency. That's how it works when you're dealing with misogyny and racism, basically. It was the same with Obama, but Obama didn't let it stop him. He outthought them. He was more clever than them. And as much as people as the Republicans have been trying to fight Biden, and they have been, I got to tell you, when people say, when people talk about Biden and how he's been able to maneuver somewhat even around them, this is in ways, let me tell you, when the Supreme Court has to go all out to be biased to get a person from being charged criminally, or when the Republicans have to spend every single day in court trying to stop the rollout of any bill that you passed and signed, that's the sign of a hardworking president. So you have to understand the Republicans have been more active fighting in the courts to stop rollout of anything Biden has done than they have in presenting any bills to Biden. You see what I mean? It's the same thing with the Republicans when they were dealing with Obama. Like Obama and Biden, to get anything done, they had to be, they had to do so much more work than what you would think, and also that means reaching out to the other side too often. The entire time they reached out to the other side, and even though they only need one from the other side, they still reached out to all of them. And as you can see, when you have this politic of being an obstructionist party, where a do nothing party that all you do is say no, 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 and you don't propose anything yourself, look at the Republican Party. This is what happens to you when you're just an obstructionist party. You end up getting people like Mark Robinson for governor. You end up getting people like representation that flip flops like Mitch McConnell. The Republicans booed Mitch McConnell at the national convention. You know, you end up getting a Marjorie, whatever, talking about, HARP, the Democrats. They're the ones who made the hurricanes. You know what I'm saying? When you're a do nothing obstructionist party that doesn't make bills, pass bills, you know, that's what happens when all you're doing is fighting the bills that have passed Congress and Senate in the court using Republican judges in the courts. You know, that's what you get. And it's sad, but that's how it works. Sadly, it's the U.S. has gotten to that point, but it can be fixed. Go to her YouTube page. Oh, really? Okay, hold on. So this is ABC. Let me see something. Oh, let me just check here. Let me see. Maybe I got a notification. Okay. Yep, here we go. Let's see here. I'm on her page now. Hope this is it. Oh, they probably playing some commercials, right? Wow. They must have some commercials where they've been putting a whooping on Trump. There's been a lot of ads, exposing Trump. That's true. Let's see here. I want to see the audience. Did they say what? Let me go back a little bit and see what it looks like here. If we go to this, okay. Okay, this is some of the same stuff. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go to her page once it starts. All right. Let me see here. But I want to see the audience, That's the thing about it. Even though they're waiting, I don't know why she don't have the audience on her page. Why it's not live like that. Wait, let me just double check that though. 2 seconds. YouTube. Okay, I got it. I think I went to the wrong one. She got 2. She has 2. Here it is. All right, I got you. Here it is. So here we go. I'm glad I. Here it is. Right. This is the countdown? Right. This is the countdown to the election. It's 22 more days, 8 hours, 57 minutes, and 12 seconds. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see. Okay, that's where you watch your speeches normally. Okay, I didn't realize that. Yeah, I didn't realize that. Maybe I forgot, you know. I'm so used to checking out the different news media channels, you know, because they also give their commentary, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, let me also click like on this too. At it. Let's see here. And also, I'm gonna write in the chat if I can. Here we go. There you have it. You know, I used to like be, you know, discouraged politically, you know, from participating in politics myself. And and it's just because well, number one, the politics haven't been very social in the US. And but also this, you know, the racial dynamic really stops people from participating. I think the feelings, you know, of discrimination stops people from trusting. But what I tell people now is like those feelings usually take over when you're not following the policy. And that's the thing about it. You know, you need to follow the policy because your feeling can be different from what's going on and what people want. You might have a different view of people if you follow the policy, you know? And yeah, so it's important to follow the policy. And when I started, the more I started knowing and following the policy, knowing about the policy in detail, not being told, but really paying attention to it, what it actually is. And the only way you can really know is to read it, right? And also you could read what media says, but the media doesn't always explain policy in detail. And the more I started following policy, the more I was able to get out of this feeling of distrust and also, you know, this kind of loathing over problems rather than feeling like there's something I can do about it. And I think some of us do that at times, and some Americans do that at times. But my way out of it, I can just explain it for myself. The more knowledgeable I became about the policies, what they really mean, and how they affect people's lives on the daily, the more I changed. You know, I was able to really get it then and see the importance and be more active. And it's also like that in human rights. The more people are not aware of policy, the less they do, the less they act, the less they mobilize, you know? And yeah, so yeah, I'm just glad I got to the other point. But then again, I'm like in my 50s now. I wish I would have been more knowledgeable in my 20s. Been a totally different, maybe not totally different story, but just how I dealt with other people would have been a little bit different, just a little bit different, right? Yeah, because you can't just totally generalize everything and everyone all the time. And so there's a lot of people that maybe I followed on YouTube, um, that also share this kind of distrust for the system. And a lot of them, I followed them maybe 20 years ago, and now I don't necessarily follow them so close because I see they haven't grown, past that point. It's okay to to feel like there's problems, but to be that disengaged to where you can't recognize when there's something good, or when someone does something good, or when there's some good policy here and there, that's not good at all. You got to be able to recognize the good and the bad, you know, um, especially if they're using your money, right? Um, you may as well. Let me see here. Oh, you're not fond of the media? Yeah, I'm not fond of the media commentary. I'd rather listen to you than Dan. Wow. Oh, really? I mean, I haven't heard the media explain what I was explaining today about any of those policies. When is the media going to talk about the courts holding up the rollout? When is the media going to do that? The media hasn't been doing that at all, left or right. They haven't been doing it. It's almost like they assume everybody understands it or everybody's aware of it, but everyone's not. And they're the ones that's supposed to get people engaged in it. And I agree with you. That's true. I shouldn't underestimate some of the things I'm talking about. Um, but you're right, because the media doesn't share that much information with Americans. And you know, it, I would say being informed, half of the job is on you. 50% on the media, the other half is on you to follow up and dig in and find out, and talk and report to your own communities about it, because there's a lot of things going on that we're almost, it seems like our communities are totally disattached from, you know, and I'm sure some are, but listen, policy shouldn't be a secret. It shouldn't be something just for a few. It shouldn't be like all of a sudden you make a little bit of money off of rap music and you want to get into real estate, and you think the information you're getting is like some big old secret. Shouldn't be a secret. It's not a secret for everybody. And that's why I like to just say what I know, share the information for free, and hope that other people do the same, because there's a lot of information out there that is vital, that people that get paid to disseminate, or have a easier chance, a better position to disseminate, simply don't disseminate it. It's almost like they know if you don't know, then hey, at least they have their position in life because they know. So folks gotta really we gotta do something together to try to change the dynamic. But we have the opportunities. Let's just hope we use the opportunities. We don't have the opportunity for everything, but we have a lot of opportunities still, and it's up to us to use them. What's going on? When is Kamala Harris coming out? Or is it going to be Tim Walz? It's going to be Kamala Harris, because they have the president's plaque up there. So, all right, maybe there's one other speaker coming out, but she must be coming out soon. But yeah. All right, 2 seconds. I may as well go warm my food up real quick. 2 seconds. I'll be right back. Let's go, Kamala. Let's go, Kamala. Let's go, Kamala. Let's go, Kamala. Boo Trump. Boo MAGA. Oh. Wow, that's a huge audience right there. That is a huge audience. And that's in North Carolina. No empty seats. Damn, they having a party. I mean, in case you haven't noticed, Dems come with a positive platform, a positive energy, and even though they're facing very hateful people, and a hateful message that's being put out, they respond with positive energy, and that counts a lot. Well, to me, it tells me a lot. It tells me a lot about the type of people you're dealing with. Negative people aren't going to do much. At the end of the day, they're not going to produce much. Think about it like this. A negative person, would you imagine them, making the kids in the community, helping the kids play in the park? Could you imagine a negative person like JD Vance spending time with kids in the community, or helping the homeless, or just being a good neighbor? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Hey, how you doing? Hey, good day. See you. Good to see you. All right. Have a good day. You know what I mean? That kind of positive attitude is free. It's free, and rarely do you see Trump using it or JD Vance or anybody in that negative all the time. So, yeah.
Candy Smith, and it is a great honor to represent Greenville and all the people of Pitt and Edgecombe County in District 5. Here in East Carolina, we know the importance of standing up for people when they're in need. Our prayer family and friends in Western North Carolina as they recover from the impacts of Hurricane Helene. Our Vice President Kamala Harris also understands it and has been showing up for the people of Western North Carolina. She and President Biden have been essential in helping our state access the critical resources the people need. And she has been coordinating a response that shows us that she understands we need her to be with us for the long run. Here's another thing that I can relate to. Vice President Harris was raised by a working mom in a middle-class neighborhood. The challenges that many families here in Eastern North Carolina and across the country face because, like us, them. That's why I know she is serious when she says she's fighting to build an opportunity economy where everyone has a chance to eat, and the big cities, but also in our rural areas and our small towns like the ones all across the East. You know how else President Harris is a fighter that we want back? Because she has had a career that was built on protecting working families. As Attorney General of the largest state in the country, she stood up to big banks and the foreclosure crisis to protect middle-class families, and she won. She stood up to Donald Trump when he fought to repeal And when you're done, hold on, don't take my line. When you're done, it is important that you turn that ballot over, because I like to say, flip it, don't skip it. I want you to flip it because my name is on the back. So Greenville, Pitt County, and everybody here in the East, this election, we're going to turn the page, and together, we're going to win North Carolina for Vice President Harris. We're going to win. Thank you so much. God bless you.
You know what? Check this out. This is a replay right here. This is not the live. That was a replay. Maybe they are a little late. Sorry about the audio. I'm not sure what happened with that audio. It's restream. So let me just check a few things real quick while I'm watching here and see what's going on with the other live that's happening from the news networks. Okay, let me see here. Democrats. Okay, that's Kamala Harris. Okay. Okay, CNBC. Okay, they're still waiting, so she's not out yet. Okay, yeah, she's not out yet. I guess maybe they are a little late. It's possible. Yeah, the sound is on now, right? Y'all can hear the sound, right? Just put a 1 in the chat if the sound is good. Let me see here. Yeah, they still having a party. Okay, this is live now. This is back to the live, so I guess it's good. Well, thanks, Donnie.
Thank you, everybody. My name, as they said, is Thomas Remington, and I am a proud sophomore here at East Carolina University. And I think it goes without saying, go Pirates! I grew up here in Greenville in a family that lived paycheck to paycheck, where we bought store brand, fixed things instead of buying new, and we were grateful for what we had. From my time working through high school to now as a student living on my own, I've become keenly aware of the cost of everyday life. And I'm planning for my future, thinking about securing a good paying job to support myself and to save to buy a house. That's why I am so worried about Donald Trump's Project 2025 agenda. We cannot afford the risks he poses to this country. Experts say that Trump's concepts of a plan could lead to a recession in the first year of his presidency, which definitely isn't the job market that I or my friends want to enter into. They're also warning that he would raise taxes for working folks in North Carolina by nearly $4,000 a year. That would be a huge hit for families like mine. And it doesn't stop there. Economists say that Trump's plans would drastically increase inflation, making everyday necessities like gas and groceries more expensive. Families like mine cannot afford Donald Trump. And young people can't make it in an economy that they've destroyed or a state that will become the poster child for extremism. It's clear that Donald Trump and J.D. Vance don't have ECU students' best interests in mind. Just look, when he came to town for the ECU football game, we lost. And I don't know if you all know this, but he was cheering for App State. If that's not a disqualification, I don't know what is. But luckily for us, there is another path that we can take. Vice President Harris understands the dreams of people like me. She's fighting to put our dreams within reach. The dream of someday owning a home, starting our own business, and protecting our freedom to choose how and when we want to start a family. This is the first presidential election that I'll be eligible to vote in. And I'm excited to support her, because her vision offers the future and offers something that Donald Trump and MAGA Republicans don't, and that is hope. But for now, it's on us to fight for them, to continue to speak out, to organize our communities, and to show up for our families and our futures and our freedoms by casting our votes for Harris Walls at the ballot box starting this Thursday. This Thursday is the first day of early voting in North Carolina, and I can't wait to see you all there. And now the fun part. It is my honor to introduce the next President of the United States, Kamala Harris.
I'm tired of getting these strikes from Beyonce's music, man. Gunshot! Gunshot for Jamaica, man!
Good afternoon, North Carolina. Can we hear for Thomas? Good afternoon. It is good to be at ECU. And it's so wonderful to be back in North Carolina. Thank you all. It is so good to see you. And thank you. And I want to thank this is an honor to incredible leaders, and I thank you all for taking the time this Sunday afternoon with all that you have done. I thank you. I thank you. Thank you all. I want to also thank State Senator Smith, State Senator Hunt, your next Lieutenant Governor, Congressman Davis, a proud graduate of ECU, and let's elect Josh Stein as your next governor. And he and Governor Cooper are not here today because they've been working around the clock dealing with the hurricane recovery efforts. And we want to always thank them and all the incredible local, state, and federal leaders who have been working together for North Carolina. I was here 8 days ago in the aftermath of Hurricane Helene, and since then, of course, another powerful storm, Hurricane Milton, cut a path of destruction through Florida. And our hearts, I know, all of us, and our prayers go out to everyone who's been impacted by these storms. I have spoken to both state and local officials, both Republican and Democrat, to let them know we will be with you every step of the way as you recover. Because in times like this, we stand together as one nation. That is who we are. So, North Carolina, we have 23 days until Election Day. And we are nearing the home stretch. We are nearing the home stretch. Now listen, let me just say, I know we are really excited to see each other. I couldn't be more excited to see everybody here, but I'm going to tell you, it's going to be a tight race until the very end. And we are running as the underdog, so we have some hard work ahead of us, but we like hard work.
Hard work is good work. And with your help in 23 days, we will win. We will win. We will win. Yes, we will. We will win. So what we know, and here's why. One of the reasons is that we all know, and we are gathered here together because we know this election really is about two very different visions for our nation. One is focused on the past, the other ours focused on the future. Ours is a campaign focused on issues that matter, for example, to working families across America, like bringing down the cost of living, investing in small businesses and entrepreneurs. How many small business owners do we have here? Thank you. We are focused on protecting reproductive freedom. We are focused on keeping our nation secure. But none of that is what we hear from Donald Trump. Instead, from him, we are just hearing from that same old tired playbook. He has no plan for how he would address the needs of the American people. He is only focused on himself. And he's not, but here's the thing, North Carolina, and he's not being transparent with the voters. He's not being transparent. So check this out. He refuses to release his medical records. I've done it. Every other presidential candidate in modern era has done it. He is unwilling to do a 60 Minutes interview.
It's because he has gastrointestinal issues.
Like every other major party candidate has done for more than half a century. He is unwilling to meet for a second debate. And here's the thing.
Run, Donald, run!
It makes you wonder. Why does his staff want him to hide away? One must question, are they afraid that people will see that he is too weak and unstable to lead America? Is that what's going on?
I think so.
So folks, for these reasons and so many more, it is time to turn the page. It is time to turn the page because America is ready to chart a new way forward, ready for a new and optimistic generation of leadership, which is why Democrats, Independents, and Republicans are supporting our campaign. Because they and we know we need a president who works for all the American people. And that has been the story of my entire career. I have only ever had one client, the people. As a young courtroom prosecutor, I stood up for women and children against predators. As Attorney General of California, I took on the big banks and delivered $20 billion for middle-class families who faced foreclosure. I stood up for veterans and students being scammed by the big for-profit colleges. I've stood up for workers being cheated out of the wages they were due, stood up for seniors facing elder abuse. And as president, it is my pledge to you that I will always fight for all the American people. And together, we will build a brighter future. And that future includes building what I call an opportunity economy, where everyone can compete and have a real chance to succeed. Under my economic plan, we will bring down the cost of housing and help first-time home buyers with a $25,000 down payment assistance.
Come on.
We will expand Medicare to cover home health care for seniors, so more seniors can live at home with dignity, and give more support to the sandwich generation, to those of you who are raising young children and taking care of your parents. And look, I just have to say something about home health care and the need that I know so many people have for help. Look, so when my mother was sick,
We have
after she
that
had been
here where
diagnosed
I
with
live
cancer,
in another country
I took
as
care
an
of her.
American citizen.
And for
Home
those of you
health
who have
care.
taken care of somebody who needs that kind of help, it's about trying to cook something that they have a taste for and want to eat. It's about trying to find something that they can wear that is not irritating their skin and is soft enough. It's about trying from time to time to figure out something you can do to just bring a smile to their face or make them laugh, right? It's the work that is about giving folks dignity. But far too many people on this issue of home health care, if you need the support to give that care to your family member, it means either paying down and losing as much as you can to be able to afford to have Medicaid, or having to leave your job, which means cutting off a very important part of your income, just to give people in your life the dignity and the support they deserve. That's why I'm saying we're going to have Medicare cover that home health care to help you.
And it can be done. The money's there.
We will lower costs, including on everything from health care to groceries. I will take on corporate price gouging. I've done it before, and I'll do it again. I will give a middle-class tax cut to 100 million Americans, including $6,000 during the first year of your child's life, knowing that the vast majority of parents have to parent their children well, but not always the resources to be able to do it. And so extending the child tax credit to $6,000 to give folks the ability to be able to buy that car seat or that crib in that most fundamental phase of their child's development.
And the money is there. It's there.
So all this to say, I will always put the middle class and working people first. I come from the middle class, and I will never forget where I come from. Now, Donald Trump, well, he has a different plan.
Facts. To rob you.
Just Google Project 2025. It is a detailed and dangerous blueprint for what he will do if he is elected president. Donald Trump will give billionaires and corporations massive tax cuts, cut Social Security and Medicare, make it easier for companies to deny overtime pay for workers. He would get rid of that $35 cap on insulin for seniors. He would impose what I call a Trump sales tax, a 20% tax on everyday basic necessities, which will cost the average American family $4,000 more a year. And on top of all of this, Donald Trump intends to end the Affordable Care Act. And he has no plan to replace it. Did you see the debate? He has concepts of a plan. So he's going to threaten the health insurance coverage of 45 million people based on a concept? Come on. And take us back to when insurance companies had the power to deny people with pre-existing conditions. You know where I'm going. Well, we are not going back. No, we're not. No, we're not. No, we're not. Because we will move forward. Ours is a fight for the future, and it is a fight for freedom. Like the fundamental freedom of a woman to be able to make decisions about her own body and not have her government telling her what to do.
It's a basic freedom.
Because we know Donald Trump hand-selected 3 members of the United States Supreme Court with the intention they would undo the protections of Roe v. Wade, and they did as he intended. And now, more than 1 in 3 women in America lives in a state with a Trump abortion ban, including right here in North Carolina. Many of these bans have no exceptions even for rape and incest, which is immoral to tell a survivor of a violation to their body that they have no right to make a decision about what happens to their body next. That's immoral. And let us agree, one does not have to abandon their faith or deeply held beliefs to agree it shouldn't be the government telling her what to do, not the government. If she chooses, she will talk with her priest, her pastor, her rabbi, her imam, but not the government telling her what to do. And when Congress passes a bill to restore reproductive freedom, as President of the United States, I will proudly sign it into law. Proudly. And North Carolina, across our nation, I'm telling you, I'm traveling, we are witnessing a full-on assault on other hard-fought, hard-won fundamental freedoms and rights, like the freedom to vote.
Let's see if the Supreme Court stops any bill on the wall.
The freedom to love who you love openly and with pride. So much is on the line in this election, and this is not 2016 or 2020. The stakes are even higher, because a few months ago, the United States Supreme Court basically told the former president that he would effectively be immune from whatever he does in office. But let's think about that. You know, y'all have heard me say, I do believe Donald Trump is an unserious man. But the effects of him being back in the White House would be brutally serious. Just imagine Donald Trump with no guardrails. He who has vowed, if reelected, he would be a dictator on day one. That he would weaponize the Department of Justice against his political enemies. He has called for the, quote, termination. Oh, wait, hold on, because here's the thing. Let's let the courts handle that, and let's handle November. We'll handle November. How about that? Because listen, here's why, this is what we know. Anybody who wants to be president of the United States, who has called for the, quote, termination of the Constitution of the United States, should never again have the ability to stand behind the seal of the President of the United States. Never again. Never again. And the people who know him best know it. His former national security advisor, 2 of his former defense secretaries, his former chief of staff in the White House, his own vice president, have all warned America Donald Trump is unfit to serve. Or just listen most recently to what we heard General Milley said. General Milley, former chairman of the Joint Chiefs under Donald Trump, it was just reported, he said, quote, "No one has ever been as dangerous to this country," in referring to Donald Trump. Think about that. Think about that. And we can already see the harm he's up to as a candidate. Most recently, spreading disinformation in the wake of natural disasters. Blocking real solutions that would stop drug cartels from crossing the border when he tried to kill and did that border security deal. Because you see, Donald Trump cares more about scaring people, creating fear, running on a problem, instead of what real leaders do, which is to participate in fixing problems. Well, I care about fixing problems. And as President of the United States, I will be focused each and every day on solving problems that affect you and your family. So North Carolina, it all comes down to this. We are here together this Sunday afternoon because we know what is at stake. We are here together this Sunday afternoon because we love our country. We love our country. Yes, that's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. We love our country. And I do believe it is one of the highest forms of patriotism to then fight for the ideals of our country and to fight to realize the promise of America. The promise of America. So Election Day is in 23 days, and in just 4 days, early voting will begin statewide. Starting Thursday, you can go to the polls and cast your ballot. If you haven't already registered to vote, you could do it right then and there. Register to vote and vote. And so now is the time to make your plan to vote. And if you've not received your ballot in the mail, look for it, because if you have, I would like you to fill it out right away. Please don't wait. Because to my friends, I say, look, the election is here. The election is here. And remember always that your vote is your voice, and your voice is your power. Is your power. And so, North, today I then ask you, are you ready to make your voices heard? Do we believe in freedom? Do we believe in opportunity? Do we believe in the promise of America? And are we ready to fight for it?
Wow. She's actually getting better at these speeches, you know. I was impressed by the speech. But I'm even more impressed by the content of her speech. What's in it, not just how she gave it. But what she was actually saying, is real, and people get disillusioned a lot about politics to where they don't even want to listen a lot of times. But it's important to listen because this is where your vote is. This is where your power is. Like she said, if you don't vote, you should. I mean, your vote is your way to complain. Your vote is your way to not only complain but say what it is you want. And again, in the United States of America, believe this: anything is possible. There's no other country in the world that has the possibility of the United States of America. But the problem is that Americans don't use the possibility. The wealthy do. The wealthy use the possibility all day, but the general public often is not. And that's the problem. The possibility is through the elected officials, through your vote, and making sure that you have people that represent represent your needs, like flat out representing your needs. That's what it's about. And if you pay taxes, you have the right to have representation. It's called taxation without representation. That's illegal. You see, so man, sometimes I really wonder, like, why a lot of us don't get that. But I do get being frustrated and upset. But listen, there is no other way. And I think if you believe getting frustrated and upset is doing something, it's not at all. Anybody can be frustrated and upset. That's nothing. That's a biological function, being frustrated and upset. That's not doing something. That's your body. You didn't create your body. Your body does that on its own, being frustrated and upset. But you can help carve out the conditions for your body. You see what I mean? Through your vote. And if you don't have elected officials that are good enough, then run yourself. It's not like you need look at Donald Trump. What does he have? He doesn't have any special criteria to vote. I mean, you don't even need a high school diploma to vote. I mean, to run for office. You could be the president without a high school diploma. You can sit in the, I believe you can also sit in the state elector on the state senate, or what is it? What do they call it? City council. You can say. I don't see. I'm from DC, so we're not. We're still fighting for statehood, but I know we have a local government, and any person that pays taxes can sit on that, can run for office. And I believe it's the same for the presidency. I mean, in fact, I know it is. If I'm wrong now, you can tell me. But you know, this time around, it is serious. It's very serious. And but hasn't it always been serious for folks? Hasn't it always been serious? So my all I can do is say, don't get disillusioned to the point to where you don't act. Don't get disillusioned to the point where you allow others to act and others to get their word out through their vote about what they want. What I liked about her speech, though, is she touched on some of the same things. Uh, what are the things she touched on? Some of the stuff that we touched on already, and that is 2 seconds. Let me see something here. Trying to find the news coverage for this. Um, she touched on housing. She touched on healthcare. Yeah, now healthcare. Check this out. Let me see something here. I'm sorry. C MSNBC. I don't know why these aren't coming up front anymore, because this is what I normally watch, but or the news cycle. But let's see here. Now she touched on home care, right? You should know this. Where I live, the sick and elderly, the handicapped, they all get home care. Yeah, it's built into the tax system. They all get home care. So you're not forced to leave your home to get the care. The hospital comes to you, basically. Yeah. Um, there might be some private insurance you can get on top of that if you need it. Maybe it might take care of a few things, but listen, the basics in terms of the equipments that you need and things like that, it's in the healthcare system. It's part of the government. Denmark has a big healthcare system, and it does a lot of other things. Now they also sell products that they make to other countries. Now they don't just use the products, or they also manufacture and sell to other countries too. And so it's something to think about. Now let me see what break room say. Crazy, you can have no education and be a felon and run for the president but need a peace. Well, I think the felon thing is something Congress needs to correct. That shouldn't be allowed, I don't think. Not until you do your time. After you do your time, that's a different thing. But this guy hasn't even done his time, and he's a felon. They should do something about that. And it's like you said, there is some hypocrisy in it. How can you be a felon and you know, you're denied a whole lot of other rights just right off of the bat? You could be a felon and not vote, like you say, and for a lot of felons can't vote, and this guy can run for president. What sense does that make? It goes to show you how your civil rights, how you need to vote to change those things, right? Isn't that what you do? See, if you're in a state where you're a felon and you can't vote, or you have a family member that can't vote, get an elected official that thinks they should be able to at least vote. That would be wise. Also, get an elected official that believes you shouldn't be able to be president if you're a convicted felon and haven't done your time yet. You see what I mean? These kind of things. It literally all comes down to a vote. It all comes down to a vote. Of course, we wish certain things were automatic, right? Yeah, they should be to a certain degree, because we get used to it. You got used to somebody else who fought for you, someone else in the past who fought. So those things are automatic for you today, but everything is not automatic. It's never been automatic. It all comes down to representation and fighting for what you want. And even before people had representation, they had to fight, demonstrate just to have that. You see, so yeah, it's a damn shame though. Like you said, break room, so many oxymoronic things and hypocritical things, but those things got to be worked out through a vote, and also through communicating and sharing the information first. Because like I was saying before, you can't change things if you don't know the issues, right? And you don't know how things work. So there's a lot of people that have misnomers. Like a lot of people, I'm sorry, I just ate. I ate some jollof rice. But there's a lot of people, like, you hear the misnomers. Check this out. You hear the confusion. There's people who's like, what's Kamala Harris do? I ain't heard nothing from her. What? She the vice president. What's she do? Well, she's presided over every bill that's been passed since Biden's been president. What sense does that comment make? And she voted on them. Just because you didn't know it doesn't mean she didn't do it. Get your lazy ass up and go find the fuck out what she's been doing. Stop sitting on your ass, guessing, oh, what's she been doing? What the fuck have you been doing? So, that's why some people don't ever get the answers, because they ask some dumb fucking questions. What do you expect someone to waste time when you ain't even spend 1 second to even figure out if the question you ask is dumb as fuck? Yo, that 13-15% got to do better. Straight up. You are, genocidal to your own group. That ignorance is genocidal. You know what I'm saying? It like really is. It like really is. You don't know what the fuck Kamala Harris has been doing in 4 years, in 3 years? God damn. Do you not know anything? Anyway, let's see here. I'm sorry, bro. I can't be nice about this shit anymore, man. Don't even know how to ask a question. Exactly. No, these motherfuckers, excuse me, they know everything. Can't ask one fucking question though. Know everything and wrong about everything, but don't know how to ask a question. So they can get some insight onto something. I mean, I'm just saying it's bad. It's not good. It's not a good look. And there's young people that are in their 20s that they actually know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but in any case, I figured something out. So, I promise, I figured the audio out, y'all. Of course, there's some changes in the system. Because now I'm using Restream instead of StreamYard, right? But check this out. Now I did figure some stuff out how to get this thing going, and so I hadn't figured this out before, but I had to do some research after the audio issues today and the day before. So let me go right to it and get the rest of this up here. Now I had 2 videos uploaded. Let me see. There's 2 here. Okay. Now let me upload these other 2. And she touched on these topics. And again, these topics are so important. I know I'm getting boring and maybe repeating myself, but I just want y'all to know this. Hold on. I want everybody to be clear. In case you don't know what Kamala Harris was talking about, some of the things, there's some details that people should know. Okay, so here's one of the things. The rescue plan.
The Biden administration did take steps to provide significant relief to Black and minority farmers through the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021. This act included a provision for $4 billion in debt relief for socially disadvantaged farmers and ranchers, which encompasses Black, Hispanic, Native American, and Asian American farmers. This measure aimed to address long-standing disparities in the agricultural sector, where minority farmers have historically faced discrimination in accessing loans and other financial assistance from the USDA. Background on the relief measure. The $4 billion was intended to cover up to 120% of the outstanding debt of these farmers and ranchers, helping to offset the economic hardships they have endured, partly due to systemic discrimination and partly due to the pandemic. This relief was seen as a critical step towards rectifying some of the historical injustices faced by minority farmers. Legal challenges and delays. However, the implementation of this relief has been delayed due to legal challenges. Several lawsuits were filed, arguing that the debt relief provision was discriminatory against white farmers. These lawsuits resulted in injunctions, effectively halting the distribution of the funds. The court's decisions have centered around the argument that providing debt relief based on race constitutes reverse discrimination, which violates the Equal Protection Clause of the U.S. Constitution.
Now, you see, so this was passed through the Congress, passed through the Senate, which Kamala Harris presided over as the vice president, then given to Biden to sign, and it's being fought by Republicans in the courts right now. It's still an active case. It's billions of dollars for discrimination against Black and minority farmers. Money was allocated to all farmers, but when the states got the money, they didn't give the money. They discriminated against Blacks and other minority farmers. So you see, this is something Black Americans need to be paying close attention to. This is something Tariq Nasheed needs to tell the truth about. This is something when you say, what has a Kamala Harris been doing? Duh. Okay, this is one of the things. Pay attention.
Outcome and current status. As a result of these legal challenges, the debt relief funds have not been dispersed to the intended recipients. The Biden administration has faced criticism from both the farmers expecting the relief and those who oppose the measure. In response, the administration and Congress have sought to revise the program to address the legal concerns while still providing the intended support. This led to the passage of the Inflation Reduction Act in 2022, which replaced the race-based debt relief with a broader relief program that does not explicitly prioritize any racial group, but focuses on farmers in financial distress.
They did that because the initial one is still held up in court. So they went back to Congress. They went back to the Senate, which Kamala Harris presided over. Passed a new one where it removed any mention of race and just talked about economic issues. Biden signed that. And then lo and behold, guess who criticized it? Black folk. She ain't done nothing for the black folk. I mean, you see how insidious that is? That's insidious.
This shift was an attempt to make the program legally defensible while still offering relief. However, this change has caused frustration among many Black and minority farmers who felt that the original intent of the program to address specific racial inequities was being diluted. Why no action yet?
It was diluted, of course, and it should be criticized, but criticize the correct people. Criticize the Republicans and the Republican judges that are fighting it in the courts to stop the release of the funds, right? While they litigate it, which they've been stalling. They started litigating it as soon as it was passed. You see, that's 2021. They wanted to prevent Biden and Kamala Harris from doing something for you. And it's still in court. But at least you could do is know that, to know that it's still in court. How the fuck can you not know that if you're frustrated about it? And stop saying, what has she done here? If you want to say what they done for you, here's one of the things. Please tell other people to ask you now.
The primary reason for the delay in providing relief has been the legal battles that arose from the original structure of the debt relief program. The court's injunctions prevented the USDA from moving forward with the debt cancellations. And
the court injunction, the judge could have released the funds, but he issued an injunction because he's a Republican dumbass who doesn't want you to get the money. So he withheld the money while they still are litigating it. And they're just really stalling it. They're claiming that it's reverse discrimination. And we all know there's nothing called that because, hey, after all, if you can isolate groups because of their ethnic background, then you can also go to court and reward them, resolve their issue due to the same discrimination they got for their ethnic background. But how do you do it without saying who they are? How do you do it?
The legal process has been slow. Additionally, the restructuring of the program to comply with legal standards has taken time, contributing to the delay in delivering the promised relief. In summary, while the Biden administration did sign a $4 billion relief package for Black and minority farmers, its implementation has been delayed due to legal challenges. The situation highlights the complexities involved in addressing historical inequities within the framework of current legal standards.
Yep. Check it out.
Several lawsuits were filed.
Here are the actual lawsuits. And here's the reason for the case not being finished, coming to resolution, or the funds not being released yet. Listen very carefully.
In opposition to the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021, particularly targeting the provision that offered debt relief to socially disadvantaged farmers based on race. These lawsuits generally argued that the provision was discriminatory against white farmers and violated the Equal Protection Clause of the U.S. Constitution. Number of cases filed. As of the latest available information, at least 12 federal lawsuits were filed challenging the debt relief provision under the American Rescue Plan Act. These lawsuits were filed across various states, including Texas, Florida, Tennessee, Wisconsin, and others. Key cases. 1. Wynn v. Vilsack, Texas.
And you know what gets me? Is some of these people that live in these states might even mess around and vote for Donald Trump, might even vote for Republicans while being black and complaining about Kamala Harris and Joe Biden not doing a damn thing for them.
One of the first major lawsuits filed by Sid Miller, Texas Agriculture Commissioner, on behalf of white farmers. 2. McKinney v. Vilsack, Tennessee. A group of farmers from Tennessee challenged the provision. 3. Joyner v. Vilsack, Florida. White farmers in Florida argued the debt relief provision was unconstitutional. 4. Fava v. Vilsack, Wisconsin. A lawsuit was filed by a group representing white farmers in Wisconsin. Court decisions and injunctions. In several of these cases, federal judges issued preliminary injunctions that halted the implementation of the debt relief program. These injunctions were based on the argument that the race-based criteria likely violated the Equal Protection Clause, effectively pausing the program nationwide. Outcome.
Effectively pausing the program nationwide. I hope you black folk, MAGA folk, are worried about that. How come you're not talking about it?
Lawsuits significantly delayed the disbursement of the funds intended to provide relief to minority farmers. The legal challenges eventually led to the Biden administration and Congress reworking the program under the Inflation Reduction Act of 2022, which removed the race-specific provisions to comply with court rulings. In summary, there have been at least 12 significant lawsuits filed across various states, which have played a key role in preventing the immediate implementation of the debt relief measures originally intended for socially disadvantaged farmers under the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021.
Okay, so there's one other element to this case. Because of the reasoning why the case has been challenged, there hasn't been an outcome yet. They're still waiting for a yay or a nay from the court. So it's been delayed while the injunction hasn't been delayed. That means the rollout of the money. The injunction, the rollout of the money has been delayed too, while the case is waiting. So the case is still active. So it's something we all need to be talking about it, right? Black folk. Now, the other significance to this case, the reason why it's so important is because if the judges rule against it, that effectively means they will rule against anything that's provided by the government, any bill to issue restitution to victims of racial discrimination that have suffered economic losses of any type, i.e., slavery and other things. You see what I mean? That's across the board. That's across the board. So this case is something people need to be following follow it like your fucking life depends on it. Follow it like you follow Puff Daddy. Follow it like you follow Skinny Jeans. Follow it like you follow mumble rap. Follow it like you follow all of this other ridiculous stuff out here that is made by corporations. Anyway, the next thing. Let's see here. Let's see. Here's the other thing we could follow. Student debt. This was real. This is Biden and Harris. Student debt. They also tried to fight this in the courts.
As of recent data, African Americans are disproportionately affected by student debt in the United States. Around 54% of Black adults report having student debt, which is higher than the national average for other racial groups. Here are some key points on the scale of the issue. 1. Total number of African Americans with student debt. According to a 2021 study by the Education Data Initiative, roughly 7.5 million Black Americans carry student loans. This represents a significant portion of the 44.7 million total Americans with student debt. 2. Disparities in debt load. On average, African Americans owe more debt than their white counterparts. Studies show that Black borrowers tend to owe about $25,000 more than white borrowers over time, partly due to lower household wealth and higher interest accruals.
You could buy a house with that.
3. Long-term effects. African American borrowers are also more likely to struggle with repayment, with a high percentage defaulting on their loans or carrying balances long after attending school. Research shows that 20 years after starting college, Black borrowers still owe 95% of their original loan balance.
Now you see how this was? It's still active. It's being held up in the courts by some states. There's a slight victory, but it's not there yet, y'all. But do you see how important it is to follow this if you're Black? If you're talking anything about Black people, especially if you're complaining about Biden and Harris not doing anything for Black people, you probably don't know this if you're complaining. And if you do know this and you're complaining, something's wrong with you, because you should be sharing the information and voting for them, backing them up when they backed you up in the law, doing their job. Guess who else presided over this? Kamala Harris, because she's the vice president and she's the head of the Senate. The Senate. Yes, that means she had to sit here and listen to everyone debate every little thing, every little argument about it, the yays and the nays, then conduct the vote. So she probably knows more about it than most people, especially Tariq Nasheed. So if you've been getting your advice about Kamala Harris from Tariq Nasheed or any other YouTuber that seems to be distrustful of the Indian lady, who listened to every MAGA point and thinks that her grandfather was a slave owner named Mr. Brown in Jamaica somewhere, you dumb motherfuckers. You're dumb.
Compared to 6% for white borrowers. The racial wealth gap, labor market disparities, and predatory lending practices have exacerbated these debt burdens, leading to calls for reforms in how student loans are administered.
Here's the next question, because you know the next question is automatic. Yeah, but how many of those Black people are immigrants? Here's your answer.
About 71% of Black students borrow federal loans for their education, and the total student debt for Black graduates tends to exceed that of their white counterparts by an average of $25,000.
You can buy a house with that. All that's being held up in the court. Do you know how many millions of Black people that is? 7.1 million Black folks. Student debt.
This disparity is influenced by various factors, including socioeconomic conditions and institutional biases in the education system. 48 source. As for the immigrant population, 10% of Black Americans are immigrants, primarily from the Caribbean and African nations. 46 source.
So detracts 10% from 7.1 million. What do you get? What do you think you get for that? You see what I mean? You're still dealing with... Anyway, let me see something here. Jesus. 2 seconds. Seven point... Where's the point at? Is this the point? Oh, or do I just say 7, 1, 1, 1? Oh, there it is. And there we go. 7.1. Let's just say 7 million, right? Minus 10%. Okay, so 700,000. So let's just say that's minus 700,000. That's 7 million. 300,000, 7,400,000 African Americans. That's 25,000 apiece. Do the math. Do the math. This is Biden and Harris trying to get you your student debt money back. All seven, what is it? 6.4 million, right? Do the math. You don't support that, but you don't support that, but you claiming to support reparations? Shameful.
However, specific statistics detailing how many of those Black immigrants are in student debt are less readily available. Generally, research indicates that Black immigrants often have higher educational attainment levels compared to their U.S.-born counterparts. 48 source.
Right. And if that's the case, then let's advocate for paid education. Let's advocate for, why not advocate for that? The money's there. The money's there. You see? Okay, let's go to the next one. So we had the rollout plan for the infrastructure, right? Housing, that connects with housing. The value of your house is connected to the infrastructure of the streets, of the neighborhood, of the part of town you live in. For climate change, yes. And even part of that is for house upkeep, upgrades to your house for climate change. Let's go to the next one. And this is the last one. This is the other third one I outlined earlier today. I'm just doing this again because of the audio was a little bad earlier. So, oh no, the first one was the rescue plan I talked about. I'm sorry, for Black farmers. And now this is the climate change that connects with the housing, right? Climate change connects with the farming too, but this connects with the housing. So here we go.
When deciding whether to sell your home now or wait for the Biden administration's infrastructure projects to fully roll out, especially in areas at risk of climate change, it's important to consider a few factors. 1. Potential value increase from infrastructure projects.
Oh, and by the way, Kamala Harris presided over these hearings and this vote in the Senate.
Partisan infrastructure law.
She probably knows more about this than anybody else because she's had to sit there and listen to the arguments for and against it.
Signed in 2021, allocates significant funding for projects like roads, bridges, public transportation, broadband expansion, and resilience measures against climate change. If your home is in an area that will benefit directly from these projects, such as improved transportation access or flood protection, this could increase property values over time. Transportation.
This could increase property values over time.
Access. Properties close to new or improved infrastructure, such as highways or public transit, generally increase in value because of improved connectivity. Homes located near new transit hubs, for example, may see a 5 to 10% increase in value. Climate resilience. Homes in areas that are vulnerable to climate-related risks like flooding, wildfires, or hurricanes may benefit from projects designed to mitigate these risks. Such improvements, e.g., upgraded stormwater management systems, flood defenses, could significantly raise property values as they reduce the risk of damage. The protection offered by these projects could be especially appealing to buyers worried about long-term climate risks. 2. Impact on climate-vulnerable homes. Flood zones. Homes in flood-prone areas might see their value increase if infrastructure projects reduce the risk of flooding. On the other hand, areas that are not part of major mitigation plans might see declining values due to ongoing or worsening risk.
Did you hear that? So if you don't want the infrastructure rollout for climate change, do you think that's going to help the value of your house? What do you think it's going to do to the value of your house if you don't get the rollout? The value of your house is going to decrease. Yes. Just like the value of your home is going to increase if you get the rollout because of climate change. If you don't get it, you'll be one of the people the value of your house will decrease 5 to 10%, or maybe even more. It will go up 5 to 10% if you get it, but if you don't get it, it could decrease even more than 5 to 10%. I hope folks paying attention.
Wildfire-prone areas. Infrastructure that increases the resilience of homes to wildfires, such as improved forest management or firefighting resources, could help maintain.
But some of y'all still sitting back there saying, I don't vote. I ain't going to vote. I'm going to vote for Donald Trump because he had the what the hell was that one thing? Opportunity zone, which created barely any opportunity. It was a scam, you know? I mean, let's see who's concerned about this right now. Are you concerned about Puff Daddy right now? Because he's already locked up. He ain't getting out till he's 78 at the earliest. Or are you concerned about Skinny Jeans right now? You concerned about what? What are you concerned about right now? What are you concerned about right now?
Or boost home values in high-risk regions.
What's your conversation about right now?
3. Timing of sale. If the infrastructure projects in your area are imminent or in early development phases, waiting for completion could yield a higher selling price. However, if the projects are still years away, the immediate impact on property values might be limited. Current market conditions. Consider the current housing market as well. If the market is hot now, with low interest rates and high demand, it might be beneficial to sell before the projects are completed, as future increases in interest rates could cool the market. 4. Other factors. Market sentiment on climate risk. As awareness of climate change grows, buyers may increasingly factor environmental risks into their purchasing decisions. Properties in areas not protected by new infrastructure projects could face declining demand, while those benefiting from improved climate resilience may attract more buyers. Conclusion. If the infrastructure projects in your area promise significant benefits, like improved transportation or climate resilience measures, waiting until they are completed could boost the value of your home. However, if the timeline for these projects is far off, selling now in a strong market might make more sense, especially if you're concerned about rising interest rates or if your home is in a high-risk area for climate-related damage.
Or if you're a person that needs to live in the house, like you have a family, you'll probably want to want the rollout, sit in it for about 10 years, 15 years, keep it at least until your retirement, or sell it after 10 or 15 years, or keep it in your family and give it to your kids. You might want to do that, or you might want to keep it until you get retired and borrow off of that value increase while you're retired and then sell it or then pass it down. There's a lot of options there, but at least you know what they are when you talk about it. You see, and when you disseminate the actual information, folks can benefit. To the ones that aren't disseminating the information, particularly ones that claim to be about some empowerment or something like that, sure, everybody doesn't know the details of these things all the time. And so when you hear it, then you adjust and you pass it on. And there's going to be a lot of people like that. But we know damn well there's folks like Tariq Nasheed. There's plenty of YouTubers that's talking about all kinds of crazy shit, talking about black people, acting like they care about black people. And they're not going to disseminate none of the information. In fact, they're giving you disinformation. And the sad part about it is that some of them are doing it on purpose, and the other ones are just so goddamn dumb they don't even realize it. That's the reality. And
the specific value increase due to Biden's infrastructure projects will depend on the exact nature of the improvements in your area and how they address both connectivity and climate resilience.
There you have it. So, who presided over this? Who presided over the infrastructure rollout? Kamala Harris. Over all the hearings in the Senate, she had to listen to the nays and the yays, the arguments against it and the arguments for it. So again, she probably knows more about this than most people would, right? I think so. I think so. Because she's not getting the breakdown of it. She's getting the whole picture, all the arguments, everything that's said, because the vice president presides over the actual hearings themselves. So just to break it down for folks, um, yeah, Tariq is cap, bro. Tariq's a sorry puppy. He's a sorry one. He's a sorry one. He's pathetic. He's turned out to be a huge disappointment, and it's mostly his ego because he like some folks, their ego is too big to admit when they're wrong about something, or he's doing it on purpose. He uses a lot of tropes, but he might be the trope. It might be projection. He might be the sellout that he's always trying to point out in somebody else. I think so. How he diss Haitians after making money off of them in the suit up. Yeah. But how does his audience listen? That's the thing. He wouldn't be able to get away with it. The audience allows him to get away with it. And the audience allows him to get away with it because they goddamn ignorant. And but it's not only Tariq. It's not only Tariq. There's many more that use these tropes. They sat up here, talking about what has she done, what Kamala Harris done, but all they did, they used the tactic of distract. They talk about some fictional grandfather, great great grandfather that was a slave master who never was. They talk about the fact that she Indian, like they don't know what black is. Her father's goddamn black. They showed who her grandparents are. They're black. Her mother might be Indian. She might have grandparents on one side of her family that might be Indian, but you put that together with a Jamaican, what does that equal? It's just like the other Jamaicans. You know how many Jamaicans are mixed with Indian that when they come to America, nobody ain't calling them Indian. You know what I'm saying? They grow up with the same culture. They're proud of all their heritage and all of that stuff, but they talk about those things because they didn't want to talk about the real things, the policy. That's really what it was. It was a distraction from the policy, and that's, if that's what you want to do, if you don't want your folk getting 5 to 10% earning on their home, if you don't care if your folks' home decreases because the governor's not going to do the infrastructure rollout in your state, if you don't care about that, if you don't care about the black farmer, billions of dollars to black and minorities farmers held up in the courts by Republicans, if you don't care about that, then hey, if you don't care about the student debt, which there's 7.1 million black people in student debt in America, they pay on average $25,000 more for the interest on their student loans. Biden and Harris passed the bill to give them that money back. And guess what it got? Held up in the courts. It's held up in the courts right now by Republicans. Yes, right now. It's an active case right now. They issued an injunction to stop the funds from being rolled out. You don't care about that, but $25,000 can buy you a home. But you claim you care about reparations. I'm going to tell you something. One day, Tariq Nasheed is going to come across somebody that really does care about reparations, and he's going to have a problem. Yes, that's the truth. Of course, it's not going to be advertised over the internet. No, it won't be. It won't be. It's just going to be a shock. Yeah, but in any case, I appreciate everybody. Thank you all for going on this journey with me, because in 2-3 days, I've been able finally, just of right now, to fix the audio problem. Did you hear the playback? That playback on that video was wonderful. There was no echoing involved. No type, and this restream is really particular about how you work it. It's not like StreamYard. StreamYard, because I don't know, it's something about it. I think it's their servers. You don't have to do things this way, but you have some alternatives. But I guess Restream really wants you to do it in a particular way through their system. So I appreciate that. I've learned it now, and I'm going to utilize it. I like how Restream looks. I like Restream how it looks. I do, and I like how it functions. It just took me a second to be able to understand it. And here's another little function too. I can actually put the chat, I believe, right up in here for everybody to see if it comes up. There you go. I can put that on the screen too. Let me see here. I don't have to this way it can just roll live. I don't have to do the post. But let's see here. What did Andrea say? Well, that 25K can be used to pay off debt. Other debt. Exactly. Yo, Andrea, I mean, folks over here, we get it. We get it, right? Let's hope that other people do the right thing, share the information. The information is free, but it's factual. It's factual. That's the difference. And if we are to be empowered, we must first have our facts straight. It doesn't work any other way. Also, if we're distracted by skinny jeans and distracted by Puff Daddy's already been taken care of. He's not an issue anymore. He won't be getting out of jail earliest until he's 78 years old. That's minimum time. He may not ever get out at all, but goddamn, he's going to be old and broken. So let's focus on this election now. Let's not focus on the bickering with people, because let me tell you, this conversation is more valuable than that will ever be. It's also more valuable right now. It's more important than any conversation about the Moors, any conversation about the Asiatics, any conversation about the Black Hebrew Israelites, any conversation about any goddamn thing. Okay? Yo, I was about to stream about R. Kelly because his damn daughter is now saying that he also molested her. And I was like, all right, I can do that. I want to do that, but I'm sorry. Kamala's going to speak today, so I'm going to keep it on the politics and the information, just because if you just do this information thing one time based on these on the rollout, the infrastructure, the student debt, and the farmers, if you just do it one time, people ain't going to get it. You got to repeat this information to them, because these people are used to being lambasted with dumb shit all day. That if you just say the truth once, it doesn't get through their thick goddamn skull. It doesn't. It really doesn't. That's a bad situation to be in. That's a real serious oppressed situation to be in. Not making excuses about it. Not saying that you can live off that excuse. You can't feed nobody with making excuses about oppression. A lot of us focus and apply ourselves and move past that, and do what we can for others, Let me see here. I'm gonna close this one up too. Or it can be used to buy a car. It could be used to buy a Mercedes. It could be used to buy no, I'm joking. It can be. You could go buy you could somebody gonna spend that 25,000 on a Mercedes. If you do, you're dumb, but how about get a small, cheap, affordable electric car? You know what I'm saying? How about, I don't know, anything. Do what you want. Travel. Pay off your debt. Travel. Please don't buy any gold chains. Please. Just, it's a waste, right? You don't need it. It's not the best investment. It's okay, but you might, break it. You might get robbed, or you might get swindled. Maybe the gold ain't that real, These days they got all kinds of fake shit out there. Fake gold, fake everything, But in any case, y'all, thanks for going through this with me. I voted for Kamala Harris electronically over 2 weeks ago. I got my ballot. I had to re-register. I did that online thanks to DC Department of what is it? DC vote or something. I forget what it is, but it's DC, right? And so I could re-register online. I could vote online through an electronic ballot. So kudos to Washington, D.C. That's the one thing that the Democratic Party It's a Democratic stronghold, DC, so they make sure everybody gets the opportunity to vote. We only have 1 or 2 delegates that are coming out, I think, delegation votes, but it's still important. Um, it's still important. Just the act itself of voting is important. Don't ever sleep. You might mess around and you might find out for one reason or another how your vote could have made a difference, but it does make a difference. Even if you don't realize why it does, it's always going to make a difference. Just the act itself of voting should be like the act. It should be like a ritual. You know what I mean? When it just like you celebrate certain times of year, some people celebrate Christmas and they're gonna spend time in church. Then they're gonna go to Ash Sunday and Friday and Tuesday, and then somebody gonna go to the mosque every week. Someone else is gonna go to the synagogue every week. Well, vote then. Yeah. So I'm out of here, y'all. Once again, I'm gonna play my theme song here, and that is if you don't take my advice, that's okay. Because you know what you can do? Hold on. There's a pause. Let me say that again. Because you know what you can do? Come on. Here we go. What is that? You can do what you want to do. It's your life, baby. It's your groove. You know what you know, so show and prove. The way you're doing your thing, I hope shit improves. All right, let's go. Peace, everybody.
With this eclectic organic style, activating your goosebumps and making you smile. It feels good the way the bass and keys flow together. At the same time, it's raining in sunny weather. The beat's popping, the guitar is sweet. Quite unique the way we raise the levels, but they don't peak. Bringing you to another musical orgasm. Moving your fat butt starts to spasm. Don't panic, we take the game to another planet. The earth's getting hot and we still grooving, damn it. The way we think it makes the frequency soothing. At a calm and steady pace we keep moving, cause the movement and information is quite progressive. Dropping the rap in a way you can study the method. We glad cause the mission is to be thought-provoking. Examining how you do your thing, the slogan. You can do what you want to do. It's your life, baby, yes, it's your groove. You know what you know, so show and prove. The way we doing a thing, the game approves. Yes, you can do what you want to do. It's your life, baby, yes.